your
Make
friend if you treat
karmic
her
balance to, deal
Oh,
with
exactly. Like,
sense.
I'm gonna like walk outside for a run and re-break my knee or something.
Oh,
Like everything's gonna go wrong.
Why would you
Why
throw
would-
that out to the universe?
why would
why
you
would
even
you give
say
that the option?
I meant that it already had happened, and this was to balance the shit that you've already been through. But okay, that works too.
You know, that is actually way better. I'll take that.
Very forward thinking of you there, Gary.
Craig, once Craig gets back, we'll do the recap and get started. I think you ran to fill up his water, and nope, there he is.
I can hear. I'm just eating. So
Yeah.
Oh, word. Okay.
And for the record, my camera's just frozen, so you're not going to have me on camera today.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
So last time around, you guys put into motion your plans for rescuing the village of Hasper from the current dragon occupation. Sai and Trev went to the training grounds south of the city of Break to see what they could do with mustering up a force. They demeaned a racist, demeaned another racist, and as such earned the loyalty of these soldiers. And then spend the rest of the time training them. You also made a new friend. We'll come back to that. Aramil, Nyx, and Marleman, you guys wandered around the city for some time trying to get an idea of the supply chains within the city. And were alerted by a friendly but beaten down farm worker inside the city square that the supply chains of the city is what you're looking at. There are none. Many of the farmers in the area have been completely conscripted out to the point that the farms are now sitting empty, and whatever fields are still operating are being used entirely to fund the war front. And Phaedra, you did a couple of things. You did some research on kobolds, which will come in handy in the future, and then attempted to chat with Celestian to get a little bit more information from an omnipotent source, or relatively omnipotent source of things that could be going on. You asked 3 questions. The first, is the Jarls working with the dragon? The answer was no. You then asked if the mages who have been kidnapped out of the city of Break are still within the city. The answer was also no. You then asked if the mages that were taken from Break were still alive, and you were responded with an unclear. Taking this to mean terrible, terrible things, you then retreated back to Sai's old home, where all of you have regrouped. You then discussed plans moving forward and what you would like to do next. The general consensus, at the very least that I got, and this may change, is that right now you have instructed your dwarven allies to send you supplies to the teleportation circle. Those will be arriving in a couple of hours. So you'll have to have someone at the teleportation circle ready to meet them to then deliver that stuff. You're going to muster the dwarven forces and have them begin moving towards the city of Break across the Great Lake. It's going to take them about 2 weeks. So you're going to take some time there, and you would like to talk to the Jarl again, just to see if there is more information that can be gathered. You've decided for now, as you attempt to figure out this mystery of what's going on in Break, why soldiers have been sent out of Break, why everyone's being conscripted, and why they're being sent south to the city of Nihit. You're going to try and tackle that first, it sounds like. But again, that could change. So now we pick up that evening in Sai's home. You've all settled in for a long rest. And we'll pick up there.
So, picking up directly off of that update, I have been thinking. It takes 5 days for our forces to move from here to Habsburg.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this situation could turn in a second, and we just wouldn't be ready for it.
Right.
So I'm actually thinking as soon as we get the equipment, I think we should deal with that first.
In what way?
I think we should march. I think we should take the dragon as a priority, because I don't think it's just going to be content to sit in that little village. I think once it's done what it needs to there, it's going to torch the place and move on.
Yeah, but what direction would the dragon move to? Does this city have anything that it would want?
Sure. I mean, I'm sure the city has riches and it's the closest source of power to threaten it.
Yeah. I mean, I think we should still try and talk to the Jarl.
Yeah, I mean, when I reached out to my family, they weren't particularly concerned. It seemed like that would happen, that it would turn that bad that fast. But I guess there's no way to know for sure. But
Yeah, and if the vibes from the inside are not currently apocalyptic, that is far and away the most dangerous thing we have to deal with, and it's the thing that we should be the most prepared for. So
That's what I think.
sprinting off towards it feels like a very dangerous idea at best.
Yeah.
We know that our soldiers
Seems like a real roll of the dice.
I mean, my hope is that if we resolve the second front of this military conflict, then our available forces increase by a massive number.
How long of a march is it from where we are to the other place?
The hit?
Yeah.
If you were to take the force that you have currently, it'd probably take you a week. If just the 6 of you were to mount up and ride, day and a half.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah. I believe my take on this, at least, based on talking to what we've been doing with the soldiers we have and etc., is to not get them involved in this other thing we're going to go do, because they have been trained pretty exclusively for the kobold fighting they're going to be doing, and we just go down there and handle it ourselves. Whatever it is, whatever the force or factor is that is causing this disturbance, it's something that we can either handle with words or handle with, weapons.
Right.
And then if we free up those forces and can use them to add to our numbers, then taking on the dragon is going to be significantly easier. And I personally, at least, I cannot imagine what could be going on in that town that would be more dangerous than a fucking dragon.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think we should do that, but then do we talk to the Jarl first? And
wait, didn't we send?
Have we sent the troops from?
No.
We sent Perrin.
Baron. I wanted to say Pippin, and I knew it wasn't right.
Pippin.
For 3.
He merged with
We sent Perrin to Nehet, didn't we? And I thought,
yes,
if I'm remembering correctly, the plan was to wait for intel from him, which we would have in a few days.
Yes,
I think 2.5 to 2 days.
Yeah,
we're kind of in a holding pattern, no matter what.
I think we hold for that information. In that time we get more information from the Jarl. We have our conversation.
An investigator, if possible.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, we could even in that other day, because I know we were concerned about I forget the name of it, the house.
The Longhouse.
The Longhouse. I know we were concerned about maybe kind of investigating that place as well. We could also send an envoy of our sneakiest people to go take a look at that if we feel necessary.
High risk maneuver, but it's not.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I'm just throwing out. These are the things that I remember us discussing last week.
I mean, absolutely, that's a decision that we can make.
So I think we're all in agreement on step 1 is Jarl, and then step 2 is that question mark, but step 3 is profit.
Yeah.
So.
And I mean, based on how this conversation goes, we can decide whether or not some kind of sneaking mission is
exactly. Yeah.
And I do agree, especially since sneaking into the place was my idea, and it's dangerous as hell, and I'll volunteer for it. But the other part that we can take the sneaky people with is to scout out Hapspur and the dragon and actually make physical contact. If we can either transport by a tree to get close and then sneak in, scope out the situation for ourselves. Nick can actually make contact with the family directly, and then we can see what the situation is there, and then sneak back out.
Let's go do the Jarl first.
We'll do the Jarl.
I have something that are all of us going to go? Or were we going to do the same small group of people from the last time?
I mean, it would make sense for the same group to approach
I believe
Uh,
at this point for the conversation, we've all acquitted ourselves decently well to the point where we've made we've earned a reputation that a conversation should be like okay, I guess.
yeah.
Okay. So
I mean-
who went to talk to her last time? It was Nyx.
Nick, Sai, and Marleman.
Marlon?
So,
Okay.
I do believe we did that originally just to cut down on the possible prejudices.
Right.
That's the reason why I wasn't interested in going. But now I'd like to think that I've made my mark decently well.
Okay.
I'm sure word's gotten around to what you did.
And whether they like that or not, we'll find out. But if they don't, then I don't have to say anything. It's fine.
I do have one spell that I was gonna offer to anyone going that might help us. It's True Seeing. So if let's see, hang on. Yeah. We see things as you actually are for an hour. Noticeable secret doors hidden by magic, can see into the ethereal plane, and can see through glamours. So, like, just to see if there's anything
Yeah, I mean,
funky going on.
I think
that's definitely
actually,
And I
Nick,
can
that you'd probably be the best
cast
for
that on
that.
anyone. So,
Especially if after this conversation, if we decide to, investigate on our own.
Mhm.
So, and you can put it on one person or multiple people.
it's a 6th level spell. So if I burn 2 slots, I
boy.
can do it on 2 people.
That's a commitment.
Put it on somebody who's knowledgeable.
Is it concentration?
No, but it's a 6th level spell, so I only have the 2 spell slots for it.
Right. I mean, more you can't cast it twice if it was concentration.
Oh, okay. No, it is not. So I can put it on 2 people if I'm willing to spend the higher level spell slots for it.
That is
I
a
don't
lot.
think I don't necessarily think that because it can't
Unnecessary.
be. I think one or everyone are really the only 2 options that make sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
So one is fine.
I think Nyx, because if you do end
I'd
up
say give it to
sneaking
Nyx
off,
because she could probably go find the thing in a stealthy way if she finds something.
yeah, if we do end up needing you to sneak or
It would
just
be the safe option for real.
stuff. That okay?
Yeah.
And I naturally have a little bit of hidden door
Mhm.
sense, so that might help a little.
Okay. So it'll last for 1 hour. It's can see into see things as they actually are. Notice secret doors hidden by magic, and can see into the ethereal plane to a range of 120 feet.
You cut through glamour.
I have another question.
Yep. Yep.
Suppose the Jarl says no and is resistant to us going into the south. We just fucking do it anyways
Yeah, of
Pretty
course.
much,
but
yeah.
and just
So-
take her army.
Something we didn't really do beforehand was figure out what the hell we want to say to her before we walk in there. Like, what exactly are we asking? Are we telling? Are we
just kind of
demanding?
wanted to
And
broach the subject, I guess. Like we don't want to, we don't want to go into aggressive, but or at least Nyx doesn't want to go into aggressive, but
Because we don't want her to know how we found out about that other conflict.
Right.
yeah, and
That's part of it.
we just kind of want to feel out if we can maybe more information about the other Jarl and a little bit, if we can, about the conflict in the south.
yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that there's gonna be a way for us to truly get to ask these questions without welcoming the questions you're worried about because we know things we should not know. But that's fine. If that's how it has to go, this is going to be a contentious conversation, pretty much certain.
And we have to be prepared for it to, if we overplay our hand, she might decide that we're more of a risk than it's worth and take away whatever forces we have. That's my concern. Is that she says, all right, I can't trust you guys, even though you're becoming more of a liability than a strength, and try to either have us removed or take away the force that we're going to bring against the dragon.
Yeah.
I mean, that
That's
would be
what I'm really concerned about.
I mean, I don't really have that. I don't necessarily share that concern for a couple of reasons. Largely, the first one being that the forces are helpful. I do not think we need them, but or at least in the worst case, like they're not actually that great. You know that as well as I do.
Yeah.
But more, I don't believe that if the Jarl makes that decision, then the Jarl is acting against the well-being of the city directly and completely, and then we're basically authorized in taking whatever action against this regime we feel like or we feel is right, because they will be endangering their people through action beyond just inaction. And that's bad.
That's true, and
So
I
fuck that.
ultimately think
Wait.
that's what we have
I
to
have
do
no,
anyway.
Guys,
but,
I don't have any patience to be diplomatic with these people.
yeah.
What's up, Airmill?
I can hear something going on.
Oh shit!
It sounds like some fighting. Something is happening.
Oh no!
Oh.
Where is it? Just outside?
Wait.
Where are we?
I'm gonna like listen really quietly and see if I can hear where it's coming from.
Okay. Upon silencing
Yeah,
the
we're in
room
my
and like
house.
really training your ears, you can hear that it is coming from the direction of the main road that runs through the center of Break that leads to the Longhouse.
Oh, yay!
I'm gonna tell them that and say like maybe Nick should take a peek.
I'm gonna cast True Sight on you as soon as we get out of here. So if we do end up having to get in there,
Okay, I mean, I can just try and sneak out and take a peek. Oh,
Yeah. If it only lasts for an hour, I would actually wait.
yeah,
No,
like,
no, I'm saying when we go to the Longhouse, I'll try to cast
We
it.
ain't there yet.
Yeah.
You guys have also not long rested yet today, so keep that in mind.
Oh, okay.
You will be soon. It is getting towards 7, 8 o'clock probably, so the sun has gone down about an hour ago or so.
Mhm.
So you are settling in for a long rest. Just haven't done so yet.
Yeah.
So Nix, are you stealthing and going?
Yeah.
All right, roll a stealth check for me.
Nick, would you mind if I came with you?
I don't know, how stealthy are you?
I turn invisible.
Just be stealthy out the doors, like so we know nothing.
I haven't had the opportunity to do this, but I can just be invisible at will now.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's new.
Yeah. So you asked that question, I just disappear.
These are things to tell us, but okay. You know.
I mean,
Just do that, yeah.
yeah, again, it's new.
All right, so Nix, what was your stealth check?
I'm assuming fine. I'm trying to remember because it's been a long time what my bonus is past my like regular bonus, because I know I have an extra bonus and I can't find it, but without it I rolled a 30, so
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Right.
And Sai, your stealth check with advantage.
With advantage is a non-natural 20.
Okay. So
double
the two of you,
bonus. Maybe that 15 is already doubled?
Probably it's
I think that's
that would
it.
make sense. It
Okay.
actually, yeah.
It's a lot. You fade into the other realm and move. So the two of you, as quickly as you can, but also remaining to the shadows as much as possible, break for the center road. Break.
I see what you did there.
You run for probably about half a mile or so to reach the junction from the neighborhood you're in onto the main road. And you can see maybe 300-400 feet in front of you, an individual is getting dragged by two armed guards. You've been able to hear as you're going the yelling of this person as it got closer and closer. But as you finally arrive and get a look, it is Tuckington. He's being dragged by
Fuck.
he's being dragged by two guards up the road towards the Longhouse.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So Sai is with me, right? But obviously
Yeah.
otherwise we're too far away from the other people. Okay.
Yeah.
So I want to like quietly, like I assume we're not close enough really for them to hear if I speak quietly to Sai.
No.
Like I think we should intervene. I think we can intervene.
Oh, we definitely can.
We need to do it diplomatically,
Well,
but
are you able to send
I
him a
play
message?
it that way, and it'd be okay.
Are you able to send him a message?
Me, no.
Okay.
Unless he knows. Is he a rogue by any chance?
No.
He is not a rogue.
No, then
He's a roguish fellow.
So-
He is an accountant. He is not a rogue.
Something I can do is I can just grab him and dimension door us both away, but that will definitely cause a scene.
Yes, so let's first try just speaking with the guards.
Over well.
just to kind of
Sai wants to snatch this motherfucker.
Well, and that is, we'll call that option B.
I mean, if you
may
stay
be that
invisible,
that's
then
what it
he's
has
just gonna
come
vamp
to.
out of there.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Maybe that it comes to us grabbing him, but let's first try and
Okay.
see what's happening, and then just be ready to maybe have to grab us in Dimension Door. But let's attempt to see what's happening first.
Is
So,
Important
okay.
note
And Duckington
about Dimension
resisting
Door.
being
You do
dragged
not
away?
also have it.
Oh, he is super
Huh.
resisting. Yeah, he is shouting. He is kicking and screaming and attempting to raise as much fuss with these two guards as possible.
Do you know who I am?
Okay. I'm going to.
There's
Wait,
not a lot
wait.
of. Do you think? Don't you know who I am? Like any of that? But there is a lot of. He's shouting a lot. I haven't done anything. I'm not a magic user. Why? This isn't a raid. I haven't done anything. Let me go. And just a lot of that sort
Yeah.
of.
So I would say we kind of step out of the showers.
Man, it's been a long day.
It's been a long year these past 2 weeks. So,
It has.
That's fair.
We all did hit the showers earlier.
shadows. We step out of the shadows.
Yep.
And
And I wanted to say, like, excuse me, guards, but that man is an important member of the forces that we were promised by the Jarl. Is there a reason that he's being taken?
They are probably about 250, maybe 300 feet ahead of you. One of them turns and looks at you, and then they just kind of continue forward.
Okay.
They don't know who you are.
so,
So
all right.
we're too far away, basically.
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
so we close that distance, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
While we do that, I'm going to summon a small sprite using my Conjure Fey, and just have it relay a message of what's going on to the group.
Okay. The sprite flies as quickly as it can back towards your old place.
Cool.
So we close the distance, and I try again.
Okay.
Yeah.
You give your excuse me. Finally, you're within 50 feet at this point. Duckington, who is kicking up enough of a fuss that he didn't really notice someone shouting at first, now also notices, looks at you, and you can tell immediately the dramatic amount of fear in his eyes
Mm-hmm.
that went from fear of what they were doing to him or where they were bringing him to now fear that is firmly focused on why are you here? What are you doing? Make an insight check.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
What is insight its own
It's a
stat? I
skill.
feel like I don't do it very often.
I don't know if you
It's
guys
one
can
of the skills
see.
on the list.
I don't know if y'all can see
Hey, my wisdom's terrible. This isn't going to go well.
that.
All right, not bad. I have a -1 for insight, but I rolled a 17, so 16.
Hey.
Okay. His eyes are basically screaming at you, so it's not a particularly hard insight check.
Okay.
You can tell that he is now terrified of being connected to you guys in any way.
Oh.
Oh.
And so as one of the guards finally turns around fully, looks at you and goes, I'm sorry, small child, but we need to bring this individual to the Longhouse on orders of the Jarl.
And have you been told why this individual needs to go to the...
Aren't you invisible?
No, when she stepped out, I
Yes.
dropped that.
Yes, he did say that.
Okay.
No, do it invisible first.
No.
Get out of these guys.
He turns and looks at you, Sai, and says, "We have not. Just that he is a traitor to the crown and must be punished as such."
Very true.
Okay.
Okay.
Duckington at this guard saying that and saying, "But I haven't done anything against the crown. I am a loyal member of society here, and I have been for almost 30 years. Thank you very much."
Yeah.
One of the guards just rears back to like punch him in the gut, essentially. But Duckington just heard, and the guard drops his fist. They could tell a wimp.
Oh.
So I'm thinking maybe we go with him for now. I don't know if Sai agrees with that. I'm trying to think of how I could.
I mean, I just
probably
would
have that
pull.
conversation.
I would, as they're kind of just start going away, I'd pull Nix aside and be like,
Okay.
I think we should go, but
Okay.
I don't think they should know that we're there.
Okay. All right.
So-
I was thinking of it more as like we go with him.
Yeah. But it doesn't seem
with
like
the
he
Jarl.
wants us there.
Huh?
It doesn't seem like Duckington wants us there.
I
But we
agree,
need to know
but
what's happening.
Duckington also seems like vaguely not maybe the smartest. So,
That is absolutely
so
true.
he might not want us there, but
Big
it's
leap
Dustin
of
that went
logic
up
there.
It's
Okay. I will follow your lead on this. We go in
Gary, did you?
diplomatic or we go in quiet?
Oh, I just said big leap of logic there that Duckington is not the smartest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So he might not want us to come with him, but that doesn't necessarily mean that he's correct that we should not come with him.
That's right.
So
I
I don't know. Since we wanted to talk to the Jarl anyway, I'm
I guess
wondering
we
if we could just kind of.
It's around this time, by the way, that the sprite is arriving at the house and alerting everyone else as to what's going on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Whoa.
And I did make sure to include the keywords Duckington and arrested.
Yeah.
Well, shit. Okay.
You're
Okay.
like, we should go.
Yeah.
I'm out the door already, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say that if Sai's okay with it, that then we just kind of go with Duckington and say, you know, I don't know if the guards would question it, but just kind of go with them.
Not sure they're gonna have much of a choice.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Well, they
So
probably won't like it.
as you guys go to continue following, they've probably gotten maybe another 20, 30 feet. Like they're not moving particularly fast since they are dragging a man. The head guard who had looked at you before him just says, "If you continue to attempt to interfere in kingdom business, you will be arrested and tried the same as his. Go home."
Well, here's the thing. So we've already spoken with the Jarl. The Jarl knows that we're here. Already given us forces to support our cause. She has been very helpful. I'm not sure why she would take away a member of the force that she promised to us. So we're not stopping you. We're just going with you to speak with the Jarl to see what's going on about this, because this is someone that we were told we would have as a resource.
Unless you're a licensed barrister here in the Kingdom of Break, you have no business interfering. Go home. Yes.
Gary, please let me know, especially with dark velocity and moving as fast as I can when I catch up.
Yep. You will probably get there in... You're going to very, very, very quickly outpace everybody else.
That is correct.
But you'll probably hit the road probably in a minute.
Okay.
I would say that with dark velocity, Trev can probably do a half mile in about a minute and a half. So,
Oh, good.
dude
So,
is fast in the dark.
Yeah. I mean,
so when the guard says that, I say, if you're not even sure why he's being taken in for treason, I don't think you can know whether or not the Jarl would want to speak with us, and it's our right to speak with the Jarl, isn't it?
Make a persuasion check with... Nah, just straight up and down.
All right, hold on. Pearl's jumping down. Okay.
Goodbye, dog.
Early.
Ooh, not a great persuasion check.
Yeah, the disadvantage is being nulled out by Sai also being there. So
I don't. Where? 4.
okay.
Yeah.
He looks at you and essentially just he doesn't actually spit, but the words have that level of bite. As he says, "I don't know you from Adam. You could be anybody. Anybody could walk up here and say they have the Jarl's business. Only we have the Jarl's business. Go home, little girl, and let us do our jobs." And they begin just turn back to you completely and begin dragging Duckington up the road.
She's so eloquent for a child, though.
Yeah, no shit. Okay.
It's dark. She's wearing a hood, and she is small. These guards aren't smart.
Right, just saying.
Do I want to do this knowing how Break feels about mages?
It's around now, Trev, that you're probably hitting the main road.
I'd turn to Nix and be like, "Do you want me to try charming them and seeing if I can?"
I do not think that you should magic the people that are supposed to be on the way to the Jarl who's against magic.
Yeah, that's what I'm worried about.
Yes.
I don't think it's more against magic. I think they just kidnap anybody and I think they have a nefarious purpose for that. But
yes, I don't think it's a good plan. For now, if Trev's not quite there yet and she doesn't know, like, I think Nix would be saying, like, I think now that we have tried to do this the honest way, I think we should follow secretly.
Okay. So you turn back just to kind of sell the fact that you're giving up on this a little bit. You walk a little bit away. You can see the armored form of Trev basically just like full on like shadow sprinting out of the like road you had walked out of and turn to begin sprinting up the road towards you guys. What would you like to do?
I would probably hold up a hand to stop Trev from continuing.
Honestly, it'll probably take more than that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Trev, what are you doing?
I like barely even like I might slow down, but not actually stop moving and say like,
okay, well when it
like, unless like I'm gonna give them an opportunity to say something, but
yeah, of course,
yeah, I would say if upon noticing that he's not hitting the brakes, so like
he is fast approaching you.
Yeah, and he's not slowing down. I would probably like actually call out to him and be like, Trev, like wait a second before you just go barging in there because those guards are already like not friendly.
What did you try? Yeah. What happened? What did you try to do?
All right, Trev, you put the brakes on. You dig your heels in the mud a little bit, and
I'm gonna slow down.
You skid a little bit.
Yeah. I need to like. I'm going to talk to them before they get to that building. So I need to.
Yep. So if you want to try, I'm happy to have you try. I'm just going to say we already tried to let them know that he is someone that the Jarl basically gave to us to work with, that we've spoken with the Jarl, that she promised us forces, that he's part of those forces that were promised to us, and they just don't know who we are and don't believe us and just aren't.
I mean, I'm his direct commanding officer at this point, so
I mean, you and me
can try, and
but they didn't really seem to realize
I was a child.
I mean,
they don't know who we are.
If you told the whole story, Nix was doing the talking. You were not, and I didn't. If I was told the whole story, you didn't actually pull rank. Like that's what I'm going to go do. Yeah. Basically, hearing that you didn't try to do that, I'm going to be trying to go do that. At least
about 500 feet down the road, the clanking armored form of Phaedra, Marleman, and Aramil all also finally make it to the main road.
Good.
So I'm gonna say, Trev, go ahead. You go try and pull rank before they get too far away from us.
And then you guys
If
can
that
make the
doesn't work, I was planning on trying to follow stealthily to see what happens.
You get the backup plan going. I'll
Yeah.
give this a shot.
Yep.
All right.
So-
I can't-
Nix,
I think-
just for the purposes of this, roll a stealth check with advantage because they're going to be distracted by someone else and they're not going to be able to pay attention to you, especially where you're going.
Okay. And I
boy.
assume I'm going with her.
Fine.
That's up to you, my friend.
I will come with the sprite.
So I'm
Okay.
assuming that my thing is already doubled. Is my
Yeah.
assumption on my chart paper?
Yep. I believe so.
So 29.
You you basically vanish again.
I don't know. That's not the best roll, though. Like,
I mean, she's not slipping outside the time stream this time, but
So, so I'm gonna just continue to like pursue in the shadows now that I've like
Okay.
engaged from them. They've kind of already forgotten about the small child, but yeah, I would like ask Sai to like meet back up with the others while Trev goes ahead and while I follow secretly to like catch everyone up on what just happened.
Okay. I send the sprite with you. It's invisible, but it's like riding on your shoulder.
That's fine. Hi, Sprite. Nice to meet you.
Her name's Daffodil.
Here's what?
Her name's Daffodil.
Daffodil?
Daffodil.
Oh, I love her.
Daffodil.
do you have a squirrel?
I do have a squirrel. She won't eat me.
Awesome.
I'm not sure if daffodils are toxic to squirrels or anything anyway.
Oh no, my name's just Daffodil. I'm not actually a daffodil.
Okay.
Pip,
Nix is over there going, if you say so.
Pip like nudges out of your hood a little bit and looks at this like invisible but like slightly shimmery creature that is sitting on your shoulder and just like and then slowly retreats back into the hood. Trev, you basically fucking shadow step your way the half a dozen yards or so that these guards have gotten away from you. What would you like to do?
What is the meaning of this?
The guards turn and immediately you can see on the lead one's face that their eyes are rolling out the back of their head at another intrusion into this. And they look at you. Are you keeping your hood up?
For now.
Okay. They look at you and just go, "Your business. This man's a traitor."
This man is a member of. This man is my direct report. I have been installed as his commander with my forces, and I need to know if this man is a traitor. I need to know the details because that means that my army, my forces, may be at risk. So either I need to hear your case right now, or I need to hear the case being made in there. Because I need to know what the status of my forces is. And if I have one traitor in my ranks, then I may have more.
Make an intimidation check with strength.
It's not a bad argument.
yeah, that was good one.
Or persuasion with charisma. Up to you which one you want.
I'm way better at one of those than the other. And
Not charisma.
the strength persuasion roll
Oh
is
my
a
God.
23.
Okay. The strength intimidation, you mean?
Yeah, intimidation. Strength persuasion. I just flex at them. And they're like,
Yeah,
okay, you
All right.
Oh,
Yeah.
good point,
The
friend.
Armstrong approach.
No, it's actually just the Vince McMahon gif of just oh yeah. No, so you basically put forward your best authoritarian ness.
Where's that?
And the lead guard is less taken aback. The fucking secondary guard just like lifts his hand off Duckington of just like, this is not fucking worth it to me. God damn it. I'm just a guard dragging a man. Like, what do you want from me? The lead is going to make a saving throw. Not bad, but not enough because you rolled fucking 23. He catches your eye, looks at you, and you can tell that he is one of the royal guard. He's probably not a conscript. He's probably been trained in doing this. But he looks at you and just says, "You're the leader of the mustered forces in the south?"
I am the leader of the forces that have been assigned to deal with the other front of war that is very likely impending.
So you're the leader of the Dragon Army.
That is correct. That is the army to which Duckington has been assigned, and I am very displeased to hear of his apparent traitorous business because he has so far been a great asset to it.
There's a beat, and then you can tell that the second guard goes to speak up and say something, but the first guard shushes him and says, "Well, if you're the Jesus cats, if you're the commanding officer for this man, it is your responsibility to punish as needed." Here, they shove Duckington back towards you, down the road at you.
Do you? Oh, I need to hear the case because I need to know.
Yes,
what's happened.
Yes. Duckington is released into your care. You are requested to meet with the Jarl immediately. You will be his proxy.
Very well.
Oh no.
How far behind are the rest of us?
Maybe 600-700 feet. Nix, you can hear all of this. You are definitely close enough to hear the entire length of this conversation.
Yep.
The rest of you are waiting, not around a corner, so to speak. You're keeping your eyes on the situation, but enough that it doesn't look like you're all waiting to see what happens here, because that might look suspicious. And you're smarter than that.
That was not what I was going to go for it.
Okay. So do the guards leave? Like, I'm not...
No, they have turned and gestured at Trev to walk in front of them up to the longhouse. But they're also waiting for Trev to give his soldier an order as to what to do.
Okay.
May we if we are going to appear before the Jarl, if we are going to have this proper ceremony, I would at least appreciate being able to bring along my fellow commanding officer.
Certainly,
Would you remain posted here while I go and rouse him so that I
Yes, we will hold the prisoner here and wait for your return.
All right, it will not be long. Thank you.
Okay.
Nix is going to stay here, by the way.
That's
Probably.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I'm going to head over to where the group is. Hopefully they're at least I would like to hope that they're out of sight, and if they're not, I'm going to walk far enough away that we are out of vision of them and beckon to the guys as I pass them to come.
Sounds good. Nix, you're keeping your eyes on Duckington and the two guards. Duckington is just sort of standing, arms like folded to his sides, just completely broken at this point. You can tell that he has a little bit of hope in his eyes that this is going to go better, but also he's doing his best to not say anything that might fuck it up. The two guards begin arguing between each other. The younger guard says, "You're going against the Jarl? Like, the Jarl told us to bring him exclusively." And the older guard says, "You need to understand something about the military, kid. The commanding officer is the first person you go to. The king could ask for whatever they want, but it's the commanding officer who takes the punishment. If this man did something wrong, it is his commanding officer's responsibility to take that punishment for him."
That's a thing that I would assume Trev knows he was putting on the line when he did what he did. No.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine. Like,
I'm also military.
Yeah, for what it's worth, I'm also convinced that I can kill everybody in that building. By myself.
Yeah, like it's what I'm saying. My point is, Nix would be very concerned by hearing that because I don't think that would have crossed Nix's mind.
Right.
That was what Trev was doing, but I think once she realizes what they're saying, like I think she would know that Trev knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
I don't think she would like go run back and tell them what they said or anything. Like
the unfortunate part of Trev making decisions on his own is that when the chips are down, he's more than willing to make decisions based on the concept that if he thinks that people are bad and thinks he can kill them, then he never rules it out.
Yeah. So my point is, Nix isn't like, "Oh no, I need to go tell Trev." She's more like, "Oh, damn, Trev!" Like,
does that make Trev lawful good?
Not really.
No.
No.
Because I don't care about the fact that I'm more than
Bad,
willing to
go and
take
kill.
sword to the authority figure of this village,
Yeah.
if they decide
The-
that if I
yeah.
believe they are not good, that is not.
It's if you.
This
believe
is
not.
somewhere between lawful neutral and chaotic good.
I was
Yeah.
going to say chaotic good or chaotic neutral, even.
CN is, I believe, his right.
Kinda
His,
good.
Yeah,
his
CN is what he actually
alignment
is.
now.
Yeah.
But anyway, it
Yeah,
fits.
because lawful neutral is Judge Dredd.
Yes.
So
Hmm.
it doesn't matter if you're a good person or a bad person. If you break the law, you will be punished.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Not the
So,
point.
yeah.
So, Trev, you
Where
have
we
caught
are
up with
at.
everyone.
are we out of like vision?
Yes,
or
they
optic
they
or
cannot see you.
outside?
You make a performance check just for sure of how much they bite on your walking past and continuing forward.
I don't even know what stat performance uses, but I assume it's not something I have a lot of.
It's charisma.
not. 14.
It's fine. Like it wasn't a hard check to pass. Plus, they're a little distracted. So yes, you are out of sight. They cannot see what's going on here.
All right, so here's the deal. I can't tell if this is better or worse, but Sai, I need you to come with me.
Sure.
We are now going to basically be representing him as his commanding officers in whatever treason trial he's about to be put on. What
Well,
risk
that'll be
that puts
fun.
us in? Probably a lot, but it's also going to give us a chance to get information. And everybody else, once we get moving, if you want to meet up with Nyx and find a plan for how to get yourselves in there while all the important people are distracted, and or to bail us out if this goes really ugly, that'd be cool too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Can we have Nick just all along and like just not be seen the whole time?
And you,
It's up to you,
guys
friend.
you guys can hang out with Nyx and figure out what that plan is going to be, because I trust you guys to come up with a good one. You always do.
I can cast True Seeing on her, and maybe she can find another way in.
And Sai, I think we just got to go be army guys for a bit.
Sure.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
You might put on your silverest tongue, because it's going to take some work to get out of this, I think.
I'm gonna see if I can
Not a problem.
I'm gonna see if I can give you some extra bonuses to that.
But if we can find out what they think he did, then we can. Oh,
Deal with
if
it, yeah.
they think he did something, then this lets us deal with it. If this was just him being dragged in because they wanted to silence him, then
Yep.
now they're going to have to come up with something else.
So, just to be clear, is priority going to be getting Duckington out of there alive, or stopping them on the spot? Are we going to fight, or are we going to run when the time comes?
I'm not that concerned for Duckington's life, really, but this really felt like an incredible opportunity to A, get into the building, and B,
Mhm.
try to get a better sense of what they're really about.
Okay.
If it turns out that we have to leave him to the wolves, I'm not happy about it. And if we can avoid it, we should.
Right. Oh, listen, I don't give a flying fuck about him, but he might be the best champ.
Oh my
we
God.
have.
Conversations take such a turn when Nyx isn't present.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm really hoping it doesn't come to that. Let's see.
All right. Alright, fine.
Before you guys,
Losing that neutral good influence every time.
No, if he was a good person, I'd care. He's not. So I don't.
Gary, what ability is persuasion under? Is
Charisma.
it charisma?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll cast Eagle's Splendor on, or well, it's sorry, enhance ability, specifically Eagle's Splendor on.
Does that give him advantage on persuasion checks?
It gives him advantage on charisma checks. That's why I was trying to specifically.
He doesn't need it.
Oh, you don't? Oh.
For
He
who?
gets it. He gets it from his chief.
Oh, me? Yeah, no.
Yeah,
No.
You're our conversationalist here.
On Trev too, just to be safe.
Yeah, sure. That's fine.
That-
Yeah,
That way,
Sai is
it just
definitely
gives
the
you just yeah. Well, I figured
more
just to help.
socially acceptable member of the duo.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't Peacekeeper give you advantage on?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you have advantage on intimidation and persuasion checks. You have advantage on saving throws against being charmed or frightened, right?
Yes.
So this is
Which I
a
already get, but
Concentration
Yeah.
spell, 1 hour.
Cool.
So you have
double advantage.
uh,
on the
advantage.
I mean, if you're going to give if you're going to be giving the true sight thing to Nyx, don't bother. Oh no, you said it wasn't.
It's not concentration.
Yeah.
No. Once I find,
Alright.
once we meet up with Nyx, I'll give her that. So
Okay.
Alright, so let's do this thing.
So the two of you march
Keep
off.
those
You
guys waiting for the long.
Yeah.
you pass back up the to the road. The two guards are standing there. Duckington is still standing there.
Yeah.
The,
And
the
sorry,
first
before
guard. Yeah.
before I leave, I just want to I don't know if Nick is here, but I tell the group that when they meet back up with Nick, that Daffodil will be around for an hour, and that they can use her to pass messages back and forth between us because she should be very, very, very difficult for them to see. Plus, she's invisible, so we can communicate using her.
Word.
okay.
All right. As you approach, the guard looks at you, Sai, and there's a brief moment of recognition of, weren't you the dude who was with the small kid that came up here before?
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
Small kid wasn't fucking around.
But it seems to sort of shake it off. Of maybe a similar cloak, similar build. Who knows? It's dark. Who the fuck knows at this point? And they are intimidated enough by the presence of Trev that they're not going to question it currently. However, they do look at you and you, Trev, and says, "I'm going to send my other with your man to wherever you want him to be held. Where would you like him to go?"
With Duckington?
Yeah.
Shouldn't he be appearing at this so that he can speak for himself? I feel like we need the whole story.
No, there's
Yes.
anything he says is lies and poisonous at this point in the eyes of the Jarl. You will be representing him completely.
Then we should have him guarded with the soldiers that we do trust where our staging area is.
The-
Very well.
this
And
is
I
what-
tell him to go to one of the captains, the infantry captains.
yes,
Okay.
and have them
And-
hold him in like an armory tent or something where
Yes.
people will not be.
Sounds good.
Where he
younger
will
guard,
be secure. But
the younger guard
unharmed.
grabs Duckington by the arm and begins to march him back towards the training grounds.
Yeah.
The older guard gestures forward, and the two of you begin the long walk up the hill towards the longhouse. The rest of you, Nyx, you watch all of this happen. You watch the younger guard take Duckington, away. What would you like to do?
I am gonna fall back to kind of talk with the group quickly.
Okay.
Her intention probably would be to follow quickly afterwards, but she would definitely want to check in first.
Okay.
All of you make stealth checks.
Hmm.
Alrighty.
All of us.
All of you.
We're not all following,
Huh?
but we're
I'm
not.
following them.
Right now, we're just staying where we were and talking, aren't we?
Yeah. I assume you're still trying to do that out of relative sight.
Yeah, but I
Want me
thought
to
they were
roll?
walking away. I didn't think they were still there.
This might not be for them.
Do
Okay.
you want me to roll for Daffodil?
No.
Okay.
Her shimmer is small enough that it's fine.
For the record, she has a +8 to stealth, and she's invisible. So
Yeah. Not too worried about it.
19.
14.
19 from Arleman, 14 from Phaedra.
I know I rolled disadvantage, but I still did okay.
Grace is
25.
very muffled. Thanks.
25 for Nyx. Armel.
I'm trying to figure it out. Hang on. What am I looking for?
+3, I think it says. Yeah.
16.
Okay. So the four of you staying out of relative sight, but having this conversation. What are you going to do?
So I'm just gonna say to them, I hung around to see if they said anything else when he went back to get Sai, but They didn't say a lot more except that they really are in a very bad situation, and it's a very dangerous situation because I do not think the Jarl is very reasonable or rational. And it sounds like whatever the punishment Ducky was about to get, they are about to get. So we've saved Ducky for now, but I do think they're literally just walking into a death trap.
Yeah, because if he was not supposed to be talking to us, I think that might be part of why they think he's a traitor. Like, letting us know that there was another war going on.
Again, I don't know how they would know that, number one. Number two,
Spies.
She knew when she assigned us the army that he was part of that army. So why would she give us Duckington just to accuse him of treason and take away Duckington? It's all very
It's all
not,
shady.
yeah, like
It
none
really
of it
doesn't
really
matter.
makes sense.
Yeah.
Also, another one of those little things that, again, like assuming that Nyx is just like the walking stenographer or whatever and relayed the conversation.
Yeah.
They offered up the existence of the Southern Front to me.
Did they?
Yes.
Yeah.
They said, "Are you the commander of the forces to the south?"
Yeah.
I thought
That
they
was
said to
them
the
asking
dragon.
me that. No, I
No,
said
you
that
said the dragon.
after. That's why there was a beat pause when they said that to me. I was like, I'm amazed you said that to me. And then I was like, no, other ones. So, like, their soldiers are also speaking about this war. So, like, if it's a secret, their guys are doing it too. So,
Right.
like, there's more going on.
Ultimately, we still have to figure out what's going on and where they're going to take our friends. That's what we know are things that are going to happen.
Yeah, so the important thing right now is that I think I need to follow them so that I can get, if anything needs to be relayed between
So do we have a
them.
way to talk with Nyx who's in there?
I can cast sending.
Does that work both ways? Because
She can send a reply, yeah.
right,
Again.
so we're going to have to send
And
first.
I'll have
Daffodil
Right.
pops out
right for
like,
an hour or whatever. I think.
Yeah.
Said.
for an hour.
So at least for an hour,
Give or take 5 minutes.
I'll have that sprite. But I think that I need to follow them quickly because I'm very worried about them disappearing in there and us not knowing where they are or what's happening.
Okay.
All right. So,
I'm gonna cast True Sight on you as soon as we go.
give her that. I can give you invisibility or...
I think I have an invisibility cloak.
All right, Harry Potter.
You probably don't need much advantage on stealth checks anyways.
I don't. Pretty much the only way I can fail is if I crit fail. So let's just hope I don't crit fail.
Fine.
I just wanted to let you know, Craig, that Trev did pick up on this exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I do have a cloak of vanishing, is what it's called. So I'm gonna put that on just for the extra insurance. But
Okay.
not sure it's necessary.
Look up
But I'm gonna
that.
do it because this is a risky situation.
Yeah, this is risky, and you really don't want to be found.
I don't, because I am very squishy and they will kill me.
We should hang out somewhere close too.
Well, I
we can
think you
get
guys should
there
be trying to
fight if
find
we
a way
need to.
in. Is the other thing Nyx is gonna say? Like if
I forgot I have an 8th level spell too, so I can cast True Sight 2 more times actually. Besides
Armo can
so-
turn into a big bird and carry someone over the wall.
yeah.
There you go.
So I think you guys like while I follow, like I'm gonna trust you guys to be trying to figure out a plan for getting in for backup, if that's necessary. I'm sure hopeful that it won't be, but I'm having a
I
feeling
can touch
that
you
it's
with
gonna be
invisibility.
I don't need to be touched with invisibility.
No, I have
She's
to.
already invisible.
You're
I-
already invisible.
Do you remember I just said I have a cloak of vanishing and that the only way I can fail a stealth check is by crit failing?
Right, but that's not invisible.
It is actually that's what the Cloak of
Cloak is.
Vanishing does.
So I'm saying in general,
Okay,
the only
cool.
way I can, like, without a cloak,
So,
the only way I
uh,
can fail is by
Ryan,
So you don't need
Just-
help otherwise, is the point.
not
Not
with
on that. Thing.
yeah. Ryan,
a
just so you know how invisibility works in D&D as a concept. Invisibility, whenever it's cast on someone, just gives them advantage on stealth checks. They can still fail for various reasons, even if they're invisible.
Right. Okay, so you don't want the advantage on the stealth checks because the likelihood
don't
you're going
I-
to fail anyways.
For sure.
Well, if it's a slot or something that you could use,
Okay.
like I don't need it, but if
Right, work.
if
That's fine. Then.
yeah, it's not a necessary resource. Like obviously, extra insurance I wouldn't mind, but if it's something you could use for
I
help,
I also have invisibility.
A lot of us do, apparently.
It's
I
a
also
relatively common spell.
I also have it.
Eh,
I think most classes can take it.
Right.
Tony.
Okay,
So, yeah.
cool. Whatever.
So,
So go ahead. Go in.
So I'm gonna do that, but just I'm I'll try and keep in contact with you guys with the sprite and just send a message if it takes more than an hour and I don't send the sprite back, I would send me message or sending or whatever the thing is that lets us talk.
Sending, because then you can reply back to it.
Then I would send me something so that I can send back if possible.
Right.
Because if it takes more than an hour and I lose the sprite, then that's bad. But otherwise, yeah, just try and find
Different way in.
a way in. Don't necessarily go in.
Yeah, we'll wait for an hour.
Yeah, but just be ready to possibly have to storm in there.
Word.
Okay.
All right, Nyx, you run and catch up with the others. Essentially, they are taking their relative sweet time walking up to the longhouse. No rush from your two party members. The rest of you split off and head down one of the side streets to attempt to find another way in. Where would you like to look?
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
I don't really know what I'm looking for exactly.
I guess like some back doors or something on the actual longhouse itself. How big is it?
It is one of the only two-story buildings in Break. Most buildings are one story. The base of the building is made of stone. The second level is made of wood to create this really interesting sort of cross kind of look to it. The building is incredibly long. The first floor is all one room, which is why it's made out of stone to make sure it can support the second floor above it. It is all one room. You haven't seen inside of it, but in talking to the others, you have a pretty good idea. It is two long banquet tables running parallel to each other, terminating in 3 chairs. The center one always kept empty. And then there are 2 spiraling staircases to the sides of that kind of seating arrangement that are used for getting up to the second floor. There is a wall around it as well. It is a wall of sharpened logs. It is not made of stone, so there might be space inside that wall to kind of slip into. But that's up to you to find.
Yeah, let's fucking. If there's like no guards around it, let's just like.
I was gonna say, do we see any guards perimeter? Anyone coming out?
So there are guard posts that are set up at the gate, one on each side. From where you are now, you can see that there is a guard in the right one. There's no guard in the left one. The whole structure itself is probably to do a full loop of the entire building. There's no road that like runs a circle around it. There's the one road that leads into the main gate, and that's kind of it. The rest of it is set up on a hilly sort of outcropping. And to do a full circuit of it, it would probably take you about a half hour to do a full circle.
Okay.
Let's start with the left.
Where we didn't see a guard, yeah.
Okay. You find a side street that will lead you down the left of the wall, and begin heading down there to see if there's any breaks in the wall or anything like that. The rest of you.
Are there like any open windows or anything like that we see?
There are no windows on that wall at all.
All right.
It is just a solid wooden kind of wall structure.
Word.
It is one log deep, I will say. You can already tell that it's not like 2 or 3 logs pressed up against each other. It is just a wall made of one single unbroken line of log. The other 3 of you. Nyx, you're able to keep pace very easily. The older guard doesn't notice you at all. The 4 of you technically pass through the main gate without trouble. You also spot the guard up in the upper right watchtower and are gestured into the main door of the long hall, or the longhouse. The first thing you notice, one, where once there was 2 guards, one standing at either side of the main door, there are now 4 on each side. And the doors to the longhouse itself are completely open. Looking down, you can tell that the chamber is currently unlit, save for a few torches that are set out at the very far end. The building itself is about 100 feet long, so you got a good jog ahead of you as you head inside and begin walking through the darkness towards the seats. As you get closer, you can tell immediately that only one of the Jarls is present. And that's what you got so far. The other guard, the one that was leading you up, brings you in and then stops at the door and gestures for you guys to continue alone.
Okay. So we do.
Indeed.
Which Jarl is present?
I do that.
I'm guessing the female.
The female.
The female Jarl, yes.
Yeah, I was figuring, but
Yes, she is sitting in her throne on the right of the large throne.
Oh boy.
okay.
The 3 of you, or I guess 5 of you technically, between Daffodil and Pip as well, make your way down the center kind of line in between the tables. When you get within 30 feet or so of the Trev, all of you have dark vision, so you can all see this. Make a a perception check, all 3 of you.
By all 3 of you, you include me.
Yes,
Active
since you are also inside that building. Yes.
Don't forget you have true sight.
Does that change my perception check?
Oh, I have to write some things for you,
Yeah.
Emily.
Emily needs to get a book. And I will say also, for what it's worth, I've got that thing.
The secret
Yeah, I thought
or
so.
hidden ability thing, right?
But it's probably irrelevant in the context of what the fuck
Yeah.
she's got.
My
Yeah.
perception also
Okay.
Do you want me to-
I'm
good.
You want
My
to do-
perception
I'm
roll
going
is
to
also
write
20.
Emily a book real quick. 27. Okay. I will say Trev and Sai. Sai, what'd you get?
18.
Okay, that's fine. You immediately noticed that hidden-ish, just standing in the darkness of the sides of the walls, there are about 20 guards standing in the shadows, just observing. It was not a particularly high perception check to see if those people were there. They don't know you have dark vision, but humans don't. So this is a trick that works well on humans. Hey,
Ignorant
Yeah.
bastards.
Emily, I'm going to write you a book real quick.
Okay. Does it matter what I roll? Just
No, it does not at all.
While you're writing this book, I'm going to use the restroom.
Okay.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
this might be a good thing.
Gary, do you want me to send you the name, like all the spell definition for true
I
sight?
have it.
Oh, you have it?
Don't
Okay.
worry. I have
Cool.
it.
Cool.
Oh, Jesus.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Sorry, Gary.
No, it's fine.
Good.
It was my compromise between that and the etherealness spell.
Yeah.
It's all right. I can't wait to get my 9th level Arcana spell and give Gary fits.
Fucking
That's
There,
right.
there's some fucking options.
I want to be able to cast anti-magic spheres so bad.
That spell is so powerful.
Oh,
I love
boy.
it.
Okay.
I love it. It's on a 10-foot radius, so I can just put it on a person. It's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Aw, are you so tired from Rain Racket? Yeah, you are. Oh. Hi, Whiskey. Hey, baby. Oh. He's a very good kitty. The other one's just.
I had a suspicion about. Oh. Trying to mute myself.
Yes, you should very much mute yourself.
Okay.
not our moment.
Wow, this is entertaining.
Hey Jay,
Yo.
you should also consider checking your Facebook message.
Oh, hey. Yes. Yes. All right. Yeah, that was essentially
Yes,
my plan.
especially after something that I heard just a bit ago. That extra makes sense for me.
Yeah. And so my question also kind of
We'll find out.
stands. Yeah. But yeah, that's literally what my plan was.
Yeah. If we got to do it, we got to do it.
Sure. I mean, we've done it before.
It's better
That
than the
exact thing.
So much better than the alternative.
Yes.
Emily, I am so sorry.
Because although I'm confident in us, but whew.
No, I just mean like it's not better than the alternative insofar as I don't think I could do it. More, I don't think I should.
Well, yes, that has always been my thing with it. Like I'm okay with attacking and destruction. But
I had
for
planned
purpose.
this for so long, and I can't believe you got around it with one spell.
Sorry. I'm
the
sorry.
DM's nightmare.
No, it's fine. It is totally fine.
You didn't know I had true seeing.
No, it's
Also,
it's not
who
even
knows
that.
when the fuck he wrote this? You might not have at the time.
That is true. Well, no, because it's a 6th level spell. So
He could have prepped this. Who knows how long ago?
fair enough.
Oh, like a decade ago now.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Oh, Emily's still reading stuff, so I'm gonna go get a refill as well.
This is do that quick because this is about to go in a direction very fast.
Oh, maybe I should switch from coffee to beer then.
Oh, this is great. Like, far be it from me to like reference a show / movie I don't like, but you know that scene in the end of Ava where Asuka sees all of the gross like beluga whale Avas and just does the math in her head about how long it'll take for her to kill all of them.
Yep.
That's roughly what Trev is doing right now. Like, all right.
Yeah, looking around.
Not that it's necessarily going to come to it, but if they force it, then well,
They're going
it'll
down.
be bad. It'll be bad for them.
They're going down.
Probably bad for us, but it'll be bad. For them.
Absolutely.
Nobody's gonna walk away from this with a good day.
Killing 30 people never is a good thing to do.
Well, depends on the people.
Yeah.
Discounting like breaks, obviously, because we had, there were like a while between when we had different sessions. Did you expect us to be in the abyss as long as we were, Gary?
Yes and no. I expected parts of the abyss to take a longer time. What I didn't expect was you guys electing to take the week.
Okay.
I had figured you guys would have just sort of like gone in, figured out like, oh, we can, claim to fight Demogorgon, let's do it, and just kind of done it. I didn't expect you guys to spend time there, and that's what has changed a couple of things.
Okay.
And when I was talking about you having like prepped some of this break stuff, I was ready. I was like ready and willing to believe that you had done like at least some amount of high level break conceptualization the first time I heard you say the name of the place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Which was years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, I have. We are. It's funny. I'm gonna try and not peek behind the curtain too much with this, but just to give you kind of a big overview. The break stuff I've always had split in half. I have had the things that are happening in break and the things that are happening in Hasper. Both of those things I've always had kind of in the hopper, ready to go. Them converging like this is what I never expected.
I'm also dying at the break stuff, as in the name of the Limp Bizkit song.
Shit.
Where's my
Correct.
motherfucking chainsaw?
Oh no. But yes, because I never expected you guys to go to break first on your way to Hasper. I expected you guys to go either from the monastery down to Hasper or from Nolans to Hasper. I did not expect you to go via break. That's where things have gone odd, but
That's
not the point.
Super awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll see how.
So, Nix, you see that?
I see that. Nix leaves.
Nick fucks right off.
Dude, actually important question that I think I already know the answer to, but I'm asking anyway. Do we notice?
No.
Why not?
I figured not.
Man, would I notice my conjured? Hey,
No.
Be able
Damn it.
to say or do anything when she leaves. She just has to leave.
Nix
Okay.
fucks the fuck off back towards the open door as fast as humanly possible.
She sure.
You make it to the door just before it closes.
Oh no.
Okay.
The other two of
And
you.
I want to on my way out be looking for a way back in.
Okay. As you're going with your true seeing, you can identify a couple of ways in. Most of them being windows. There are two relatively large stained glass windows on either side of the entrance to the longhouse.
Entrance, all right.
That could 100% be a way in. Besides that, the only doors in this building are the big main doors you just went out of and the two staircases behind the thrones.
Because Nix leaves, but I want to make sure.
This building, this building is a fire hazard.
I want to make sure she has gathered all of the information that she can on the room and the situation.
Yep. You are storing as much information in you as you can as you run.
Yes. So she sees the possible entrances. She saw all of the soldiers that you said were lurking in the shadows, right? That they saw too.
Yep.
Okay.
So the other two of you, you are now standing before the female Jarl. She turns and looks at you and says, "Neither are you at the Duke Duckington, so what are you doing here?"
When can I talk?
Depends who you're talking to.
I leave to meet back up with the group and find the group again.
It's going to take you a good minute to a minute and a half probably to physically find them. You do have a sprite you can send that will find them much faster.
Okay, then I send the sprite to find them as quick as possible.
Okay, and what do you tell the sprite to tell them? You can text it to me so that way.
Okay. Well, I don't want to do anything in the sprite.
Yeah, but still, tell me privately what you want the sprite to tell everybody. The other two of you.
So I'll bow slightly.
Okay.
And say we've come as representatives of Duckington, as we are his commanding officers at this time, and we wish to know what he's been charged with, so we may deal with it.
I'm familiar with you, Cy Valankir. Who is your compatriot?
This is Trevathan, my second in command, and he has been instrumental in training the regiments. You may have heard of some of the lessons he's been teaching the soldiers.
Yes, I have heard word that two commanding officers arrived at the training grounds and took control. I respect you for pulling that motley crew together, and I apologize for giving you the added burden of dealing with Duke Duckington.
He seemed to have had his uses, which is why I'm confused of what happened in the few short hours since we left him.
Well, I received word from one of my advisors that the Duke has been conspiring with other nations against the Kingdom of Break.
If you don't mind me asking, what nations would those be?
Last I was told, the Duke was reaching out to former contacts in other kingdoms. For what purpose, I had hoped to bring him here to find out, and instead I have you two.
Blame your guards for that one.
At this point, the sprite makes it to Aramil, Marleman, and Phaedra.
Can I just first say that this has been a very salty episode?
A lot of people who are not pleased.
A lot of vitriol just being tossed around.
Yeah.
Humans, dude. Fucking boo.
The sprite. Yeah, humans are dicks. The sprite makes it to you three and tells you, "Stop looking for an entrance. I think I have a way in, but you need to get to the front gate as quickly as you can now."
Okay.
And then it flies away.
I do the 180.
Oh, right. Hang on. Sorry, I did that in the wrong voice. It's stop looking for an entrance. I think I found a way in. You need to meet me at the front gate as quickly as you can now, and then it flies away.
Follow him.
I have 180. I am on the way.
I go.
So,
all right, you guys with haste begin running.
What's the name of the Dwarven kingdom? I always forget. Crystalheim. Okay.
Well, yeah, Crystalheim
that is also not necessarily who she said.
Well, and that's why I'm going to be cautious with this and say, would you perhaps refer to Crystalheim?
I do not.
Well, that is where we brought the letter of introduction from originally.
Yes, I'm familiar with your own letters of introduction, and that has been thoroughly processed.
Yes.
But no, according to my advisors, Duckington was in contact with the Elven kingdoms.
Oh, Lathander.
Yeah, but then, so Lathander then.
Yes, I'm
What are
going to be frank with you both. Oh, hey, Mr. Ross.
Insight check.
Morgan, your dad's here.
Any?
Oh yeah, no, I know. Yeah.
Did she have any intention of being it straight up with us?
Roll an insight check to see if they're being straight up with you now.
That's my dad, Carl. That's Mr. Rass.
Yes, that is.
That is a 9.
Okay, Trev.
Yeah, well, that's actually extremely good on the die. So unless I'm like the biggest idiot ever, which actually sick. That's wisdom. That's a 20.
Nice. She is actually being pretty upfront with you right now about the things she was saying. Sai, you would have bought it hook, line, and sinker anyway.
Sure.
But no, she's being pretty honest in saying, I'm going to be honest with you both, as you're both newcomers here. Granted, Mr. Valancourt, you were one of my... I don't even know the right word anymore. But you were a member of this nation.
Citizen would be the word.
She wasn't going to use that word for a lot of reasons.
A resident of the city.
Resident.
He's not a human.
Yes.
Yeah.
You got it in one. There has been some dark arcane magic that has been happening throughout the city. So we here have installed markers to see any connections to arcane actions that someone may make. And today we received 4 pings.
Oh, shit.
Someone was speaking to a god.
Oh, shit.
Someone was contacting Lathander directly. And there were 2 instances of magic we were unable to track that were going into places we have no idea where they went. I assumed, due to the fact that you yourselves seem to be rather accomplished magic users, that you accounted for at least 3 of them. But the connection to Lathander was odd. It was a summoning stone that was used here in the city. And the only summoning stone that I know of that is left was in the possession of Duckington.
But remember, would we have any frame of reference for this? Like,
A summoning stone?
yes.
Yes, entirely. You saw one of your party members use it a couple hours before.
Okay, so that's what that was. To Lathander. To
Oh, when we were contacting parents.
Aaron, right?
Yes.
Is that what that was?
Yes.
Okay, so perfect. I would know that. I say, I see. There appears to have been a misunderstanding.
Hold on. That part's out loud. This part is not. I'm going to take the chance to try and take advantage of a little bit of racism.
Okay.
I'm going to put my hood down, make it
Okay.
very clear what I am if she hasn't figured that shit out yet, and say,
Okay.
what are your concerns about the Kingdom of Lathander? What do we believe they're up to?
Immediately, there is a visceral reaction by the woman on the chair. We'll pick that up in a second.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of you arrive at the front gates. The gates are closed, but there is no one in the guard tower. That guard has been pulled away for something else. Nix, did you head all the way out of the compound, or are you still inside the compound?
Well, I don't think I could meet with them if I was still inside the compound, right?
Right, but I was just making sure.
Yeah, no, I leave.
Yes, you had left.
But I am absolutely checking all entrances and exits as I go for the best way back in and what locks can be picked. And
Okay. The big gates, you can tell already, the ones that the gates on the wall itself have now been closed. You watched the individuals close them. Mm-hmm. Immediately, you can tell they are not locked. They are just heavy as shit.
But is there like a mechanism for opening them, or is it just
no? It was just 4 dudes on either side of the gate pushing it closed across.
Okay, so are we kind of like at the gate, just on other sides of it?
Exactly.
Is the gate like bars that we can talk through?
No, it is like those, much like the same as the wall. It is wooden. It is tree trunks, essentially sharpened tree trunks.
Logs.
Yeah, long ass logs.
Okay, so there's
and that's why I was saying. That's why I was saying, are you in or inside inside or outside the compound? Because there
are able to get outside the compound.
Yeah, totally. They were still closing the main gates as you left the longhouse.
Okay, yeah, then I'm outside the compound.
Okay, so yes, so you're actually physically able to meet up with everyone. They assemble before you.
That was my intent.
Marleman's a little out of breath. All of this running is not to Marleman's strong suit. I'm not saying you're out of shape. Yeah.
What's going
on?
Wait, should Trevor and I?
I was gonna ask that.
Well, this is happening as what Trev just said is occurring.
Yes.
So we're flashing backwards a little bit. If you and Craig want to turn off your audio so you can't hear this, that's up to you. But
what do you think, Craig?
I just don't know.
I'm not.
I trust you both to
Okay.
I trust you both to not use this.
I think it's very obvious that I'm walking into whatever the fuck they've got anyway on purpose.
I mean, yeah.
So nobody panic. I'm trying not to panic. Nobody panic.
Great intro. Great.
So, with the True Sight spell, I was able to see that the Jarl is not human.
Okay.
He is the Jarl.
The Jarl is a tiefling. He is very familiar looking.
Oh, fucking no. Oh, no. Oh.
Wait.
Really? No.
Don't panic.
Nobody panic.
So good.
Nobody panic, but
So
I
good.
So what are we? What's our course?
It's a good fucking I didn't go to that first meeting then. I guess it's a good thing I didn't go to that first meeting.
Yes. So we very much need to get in
So
there.
how do we get in?
So we don't have a ton of options. All of the options we do have are a little dramatic and will definitely incite their violence, most likely. I can try and get us back in sneakily. I'm just not sure if we'll be able to get back through the gate now that we're out here. But I wanted to be able to help you guys get in because it's very clear now that you need to be in.
Can we?
Something else that is worth noting here. Nix, when Phaedra cast the True Seeing on you, you had just sort of turned very quickly and began catching up with everybody. In looking at your party right now, something is also off.
Okay.
Phaedra looks normal, a little ethereal on the edges with like a mild radiant glow to her. Aramil looks like Aramil. There's no radiance there.
Chiller.
But Marleman has a black ethereal shadow that seems to just be hanging out over his left shoulder. It's vaguely person-shaped. It's a little bit taller than himself, but doesn't seem to be like doing anything. Just sort of hanging out.
Okay. So would I have any idea of like what that is besides
No.
You have a demon on your shoulder?
It kind of looks a little demonic, but not like it doesn't seem to radiate any amount of evil. It's just a black shadow on the ethereal plane.
Okay. I don't think that Nix has a lot of experience with that.
Probably not.
No, I don't think that I would be able to do anything to understand that better. Okay. So let's just say.
We're gonna jump to the other two.
Wait, I can't react to that right now.
I mean, maybe, but we have something else that is also happening at the same time.
Let me just say one real quick thing then.
Yeah.
So then I would like to present what just happened a little bit differently. So Nix goes out there. Let's just say that like she's kind of looking over her shoulder as she's coming out and saying, okay, nobody panic. But the Jarl isn't there. It's a tiefling. And it looks really familiar. And she like turns and faces forward and then sees that. And she goes, oh.
So you other two. The Jarl in her chair physically stands a little bit. And you can tell there's a frailty to her. Just, a relatively frail human woman. As she looks at you, Trev, and says, my business with the Kingdom of Lathander is the business of the Kingdom of Break, Trow.
Very well. But if we have reason to not trust them, trust me, I will be with you on it.
Make a persuasion check.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. Got it.
Well, my charisma's bad, but this die loves me today.
Wait,
you also have advantage.
You have advantage because of a spell.
Well, it's pretty... Okay, yeah, well, 18 still, thank God.
You're welcome.
So just 18?
Yes, I don't have
it. Okay. She stops and looks at you, and suddenly you can see a very small smile cross her face. As she says, I believe I understand your purposes now. Trevathan, was it correct?
That is.
Why are you here to lead a human army against a dragon in a gnomish village?
Because I have fallen in with a group of folks like him. And as it turns out, larger threats to the world at large are worth being dealt with.
Yes, but why do you want to march with a human army under a mountain to rout out a dragon?
Because the dragon has to go, and I'll use whatever resources I must.
Very well. And she sort of takes a sit back and a long think about it. Meanwhile...
Oh.
This is my favorite thing.
What?
Do I have
Kind of
something?
Huh?
So is there something on my face? Is something?
Yeah, she's staring at Marleman, but not really at Marleman.
No, I know. I think at this point, like Marleman sees that you're looking just over his shoulder, and he's definitely doing like a.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm like,
yeah, and like she's like Nyx is kind of like keeping her eyes on it, but like reaching for Pedro, like.
Okay. Can you try what you're saying? Because we can't see it.
I know that I just gave you some very intense news very quickly.
Yes, we'll focus on that in a second. What's going on?
I know a little magic, but not a lot of magic. And what does it mean if when I have true sight on, I see a blackish demonic figure over Marleman's shoulder?
What?
Don't freak out, bud.
Well,
I think he's
Fantastic.
definitely, absolutely doing the cartoon thing where he's like a dog looking for his
Nobody
tail.
panic! Nobody panic! It's okay. Marleman.
As Marleman is like very quickly turning, you notice the shadow turns with him, just sort of like it is attached to his lower back, essentially.
Sound a really good like infomercial here. Well, Nyx.
Yeah.
Does it have like? Is it familiar?
Get him up, get up.
Is it familiar? Is it a familiar?
Black, shadowy figure. It's okay, Marleman. It's okay. It's not hurting you.
Question, Armil, what are you doing right now?
Can I be like slapping at Marleman's back? Like,
Yes, you can be.
get off, my friend.
So true sight lets you see like it might be a curse. It might be
Is Marleman cursed?
Well, he does throw up water and Yeah.
Is it bad? Is he okay?
Oh, well, I mean it's Marleman, so
I don't know. Now I don't feel so good, guys.
That's fair.
It's gonna be okay, buddy.
I mean,
should I
Yeah,
try?
Armil is just smacking you in the back repeatedly, by the way.
I got this.
No, that's not you should
Devil
have
be gone.
I can try casting Greater Restoration on him, but probably not right now. Considering
okay.
I would appreciate it if something would get rid of this. Does anybody here have any experience with any of this?
I mean,
I don't see it.
The thing is, I don't know what she's looking at, so I don't know. I mean, I can try casting Greater Restoration. I'm just a little concerned about our friends being in there by themselves with my brother.
Right. You're absolutely right. That is more important. I think I'll just have to see like bugs on me.
Does it look like it's like doing anything to him? Is it like?
I think it's just kind of there. It's just kind of following him. I think right now we have to just hope that it's nice and we have to move on because there are slightly more pressing.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll discuss this.
Sorry.
Meanwhile,
My character arc would suggest that I would be selfish, but you're right.
inside the Longhouse, the Jarl has taken a couple of seconds to kind of think through everything you just said. Trev, she looks at you and says, "If I may, would you like to have the rest of this conversation in private?"
What would you have to say that my co-commander here cannot hear?
I would like to offer you, Trevathan, a business proposition.
Ooh. Can I do an insight check on that?
I
Because
probably
she's supposed to be like the racist supreme, and for her to
You're correct.
want to talk to him privately.
This is not a high insight roll. There is malice and evil in everything she is saying, but it is not directed at Trev.
Yeah, okay. I'm just like,
Any
you understand that we function as a team.
anything that I will be any projects that I'll be undertaking, I will be undertaking with the folks that I've come this far with. So he would be in on it anyway.
And
Very
as I
well.
told you upon our first meeting, I am something of a mercenary.
Very well, then, if the two of you would join me, then. And she fully steps off the throne and begins walking for one of the stone staircases up to the second floor.
Okay.
I just glanced at Trev.
Nyx didn't know, but she wasn't there for the part where we would have heard that our magic was being
monitored,
correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Very like pointless question, but I'm asking it anyway. Detect magic.
Because
That's totally fair.
once we get back to our group, I know immediately what she's going to do.
Detect magic, especially glancing at like the walls or like the borders of the building.
Okay. I have to check something real quick with detect magic. Okay. The borders on the walls, and just kind of looking in corners, presence of magic within 30 feet of you.
Yeah, I have no idea how, like, if I'm close
Yeah,
enough to
yeah,
a
yeah.
wall.
Yeah. I mean, you're walking to a staircase, so you are getting close to a wall. You can tell written into the filigree of the wall, there are runes that glow underneath your eyesight. So this room is definitely magically protected in some way. You see a couple of faint auras of magic around the Jarl as well, specifically around the pendant she is wearing, and 3 rings on her fingers. And that's kind of it for magical stuff around you. The runes in the walls and the magic around the Jarl herself.
I got what I wanted to know.
Okay. As you guys are walking upstairs, the other 3 of you.
I think I should send a message to the others to let them know.
Yeah. I wasn't sure.
Phaedra, you send a message into that building, and it hits up against a magical wall.
The sprite can go in and out, though, right?
The sprite was able to go in and out.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
So whatever we need to tell them, we can use the sprite to tell them.
Okay.
The sprite is a being. They are a magical being, but they are a being.
Tell them that the Jarl is is Phaedra's brother in disguise.
Should we? I feel like we need
say
to.
We're coming in.
I feel like
we're coming in.
Yeah, I think we should tell them we're
that's
coming in. Play it cool.
Don't.
Maybe,
Yeah.
I'm worried.
It's gonna take me a little while to squeak through the door.
That's
because
fine.
the doors are closed.
That's fine.
Oh my god.
Okay. So while they're doing that, I'm gonna try and help you guys get in.
Okay. The sprite flies off and is now attempting to wedge itself in one of the small cracks of the main door to kind of inch its way in.
I was going to say up and around if it's invisible.
Oh no, it flew over the gate and now needs to try and get in the door of the house itself.
Oh, I see.
No windows.
There are 2 stained glass windows, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then the door.
Okay.
So we could either try and get back through the gate and I can just open up the doors, but there are a lot of soldiers in there. But no matter what, I think we're going to be confronted with a lot of soldiers. It might be quicker to break the windows and go in through the windows, but obviously that's a little bit more dramatic of an entrance. So I'm not sure. I wanted to help you guys get in, but I'm not sure what you guys...
Let's fucking slam through the window.
Assuming that my magic actually works in there and doesn't not work, I could cast silence on the area so that way they wouldn't hear the glass breaking.
But they would see.
Yeah, they're gonna see us.
Oh, they would see it though.
Whatever.
I'm picturing
with their eyes, they can see it.
I'm picturing it higher up. Sorry.
It's just a big ass rectangular room.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I was imagining higher up with the stairs.
So I kind of, I don't know what's best. That's why I kind of want to come up and talk.
Phaedra, do you want to fight your brother right off, or should we try and be diplomatic about this? Because if we break in the windows, he's just, they're probably going to just start fighting.
Yeah, it depends on if we want to.
Well, I don't really want to fight the people necessarily because we don't know how much they're being tricked if he's disguised himself. So I would prefer not fighting other people unless it's with we don't have a choice.
Alright, we go in the front door.
I can dispel magic on them to show that they're not really who they are. Maybe they'd be less inclined to fight for them.
I mean, possibly, but that's not probably going to be possible right away. So it's
I can.
How do you want to get in?
Meanwhile, you two have joined the Jarl upstairs of the Longhouse. The wood floor underneath you creaks a little bit, not in a terrifying sort of way, just in a like, all right, wooden floor kind of way. She leads you into a small side room that is just off this larger kind of entrance chamber. There are 2 doors on either side. The room itself is kind of like a crescent, or like a half moon. Directly in front of you are large doors that are slightly ajar. Looking inside very quickly, you can see what looks like a very, 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 very large treasure room, armory, and bedroom. But there are these 2 other doors that kind of flank those main doors that lead into smaller chambers. She leads you into the one on the left, and inside you're greeted with a long stone table with a large map unfurled upon it. She kind of gestures at it and says, "Now, Trevathan, I speak to you as a representative for the Drow people. How would you like to step back into the sun?"
What are your plans?
The Kingdom of Break is weakening. The level of control that we've had is faltering. I would like you to speak as a representative to your people and have them stamp out a mutual enemy.
Allow me to say, I have to say a couple of things in response to this. The first is that, and my apologies, I'll be frank, if the concern is that Break is coming on hard times, is weakening, is losing its influence, why is conquest your first solution? Why are you not, why are essentially you starving your people and forcing them into the armed forces in order to conquer instead of trying to grow your city through other means? Shutting off trade, that's not the way to grow a kingdom. That's a way to choke it out.
You misunderstand, Trevathan. The Kingdom of Break is weakening because the people of Break are weakening. For reasons that we do not have full understanding of, something has happened that draws the strength of humanity away from it. About 3 months ago, I received a letter from an old friend that said that there has been a scientific breakthrough, that we might fully understand why the curse that has fallen over Break is fallen over Break. You see, my husband and his lineage has long had a barren life. And in order to continue the lineage, certain agreements and deals were made. Those deals have come due.
Deals with whom?
I wish they would give their name. I truly do. But they haven't yet. They only move as a scourge taking everything they feel belongs to them while sapping away the very strength of humanity itself. I want your help, Trevathan, to stop this scourge and then help me take what is rightfully ours back. Your people, for so long, have been forced underground, treated like second-class rats by the High Elves. Don't you wish sometimes that you could be the one in charge? Look around you, sigh Valenkier. This city is a city of wood and mud and poverty. While the dwarves sit in their gilded houses in their cities underground, thinking that they're better than us here. Don't you think it's time that the humans stepped forward? Don't you think it's time that we showed them that perhaps we don't have the artistic merits of the other races, but what we do have is power. That we are a strong people. And that we belong at the top.
I have traveled to many lands. One thing that I've known as a constant is the more humanity struggles for supremacy, the more they're looked down on.
You're right.
And I have known very vile humans who deserve to be in the ground, not on the throne. So what makes you any different?
That I know better. That I know that the strength of humanity comes from humanity, not from petty magics or from ancient connections to fey gods. That the strength of humanity comes from the fact that we are survivors. That we will continue pushing forward. And they, and she sort of gestures broadly at the map, in kind of just like in a like kind of arcing the mountains and the forest with one sort of movement.
Mm-hmm.
They have always wanted us under their boot. They've wanted to maintain those positions of the higher races. Well, the humanity deserves to be one of them. No, humanity deserves to be equal, or if not better. They look upon their own brethren as second class. She's pointing at you, Trev. They look upon us, others who walk on two legs and walk across the same ground as them, as people who don't deserve to be here.
Is the sprite there yet?
So you're
That sprite cannot get through that door.
Yeah.
That sprite is like fucking
so
just.
Oh, this is way more fun. Like,
No.
to be honest. So your guards, they asked me when I identified myself as Duckington's commander if I was the commander of the forces to the south. I'm not familiar with a conflict to the south. Is this related?
Yes. One
What?
of our largest trading posts was the first to be taken by the Scourge.
Who are they? They're just saying the Scourge. Like, what are they?
I wish I knew. To be honest with you, I wish I knew. They're nimble. They're humanoid with yellow skin and long ears. They call themselves, well, they call themselves something that can't possibly be true.
We'll believe
Try
you.
me.
Oh.
Yeah,
They call themselves the Githyanki.
God damn it.
yeah.
My question to you is this: whether that is true or not, if that is your scourge, if that is a front on which you are in active conflict, why on earth are you, why are you trying to amass an army to go to war with these other races when you have this issue in your own backyard? How does
Because
that help? How is that even sound strategy, much good leadership?
what I am asking you, Trev, may I call you Trev?
All of my friends do that. I
That
apologize.
was a slip.
You're correct. It was a DM slip, not a Drussil slip. I'm just gonna play it. I'm asking you to help us with this Yankee issue, so then we may turn our direction outward. The Kingdom of Rake cannot fight this scourge alone. I understand that. But if we were to turn around again and ask the elves, if we were to ask the dwarves for more assistance, they just look at us more like we're in their pocket. Like they need to run to our aid. Like we are just some second-class kingdom that needs to be saved. I understand that we're in a poor situation and very poor footing, but I will never allow my kingdom to be seen as second class again.
Your kingdom. Reminds me, I have one more question. Where's your husband?
My husband, and she sort of sits. My husband went south when the Gith first presented themselves to offer himself as payment for the debts that his lineage has asked for. I have not seen him since.
Let's see.
That's not what we heard.
That is not what we heard.
Well, I can't say that.
Well, I heard something different.
If, please, I deserve nothing to ask of you. But if I can ask you one favor through all of this, is that you don't speak of what I just told you outside this room.
Very
The
well.
people would fall to pieces if they knew what happened to their true king.
Of course. Now, I understand your hesitance to engage with other powers that are frankly superior to yours. But the real question you have to ask is, can you afford not to? You're willing to work with the drow, why not the dwarves? You think they feel superior. Have you spoken to them? When's the last time you sat down with a representative from them or their leader?
The last time I sat down with one of their leaders, he looked upon me like I was a child. Like I knew nothing of the world. Like I wasn't in power. Like I didn't have anything behind me. Like I was just some common person. I'll never forget that meeting.
If there's anything that I've learned from everywhere I've been and everything I've done, it's that if you want to grow, the first step is to realize the growing you actually have to do.
And that's why I'm asking you for help, Trevathan. Yes, perhaps this issue will be resolved if I turn to the dwarves, if I turn to the elves. But your people deserve more than what you have now. You deserve to be considered a part of the elvish race. That's why I'm asking for your help to earn the respect of the human kingdom, but more importantly, to allow yourselves to be seen as heroes.
As equals to human?
As more than equal to human.
Is she being honest about any of this stuff? Is she being forthright about any of this stuff?
It's guarded. She's definitely just some of it is just trying to say things that trying to plead to Trev's nature. But it's not overly like detrimental, if that makes sense. It's very. She's saying these things because she's
truth in there.
Exactly. She is saying these things because she knows it is true. Now, what that means for after she's being a little cagey about, but she is saying, things that she appears to believe is true.
Okay.
The rest of you.
Oh, this is an important question.
All right, hang on. We'll end on your question then.
Can I have the evening to contact some people and consider your offer?
Yes. You will be free to walk the city as you see fit, and we will meet back here at the same time tomorrow.
Very well.
The rest of you. What are you doing?
We're
know this. We're still trying to get in.
yeah, we were trying to get waiting. Yeah.
We go through the gate.
So
That's the
Yeah,
idea.
we were
We break
trying
in.
to go through the gate, but we weren't sure if we could get the gate open.
yes,
Yeah.
the gate is heavy as fuck.
Well, so what I'm gonna say is I want to see if we can get in through the gate, but if we can't, we don't have a lot of other options, but we can try to see if we can get in through the gate.
Okay. Are you just the four of you just running at the gate and pushing?
Well, is it? I was assuming. Wait, what kind of gate? Lift up or push?
Push. It is two swinging log doors, essentially.
Then yes, I guess we're pushing. I was
Okay.
thinking.
All four of you make a strength check.
All right.
Let's see. I rolled a 13, which gives me. I'm going to say a 13. No, it's a 14.
Okay.
Nice.
I don't have a mod on strength. Okay.
Can you click on that?
The weakest people in
Of
the room.
all
are
of the
ones
people.
pushing the door.
Yep.
Yeah.
Modified 20.
I mean, for what it's
Okay.
worth, one of them can turn into a fucking elephant or something.
Why is he not doing this?
Subtlety? Question mark.
Yes.
Subtlety went out the window 20 minutes ago.
I don't know. I think I've been being fantastically subtle. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
I got
We're
11.
doing fine.
Okay. An 11 from Nyx and Armil.
10.
Okay. The four of you, Phaedra, you dig your heels in and you just at the gate, and you can feel just like a little bit of purchase. And as you look, your three teammates are just red in the face,
Bleeding.
sweaty, just everything, and it's just nothing. It's throwing pieces of paper at a wall. It's just
You guys.
We have not picked the right squad for this task.
Okay.
as you're all straining at this gate, you suddenly hear from behind the gate, "Who goes there?"
Oh.
We're here to take your shift.
What?
Nothing, I was joking.
Oh, okay. I didn't actually tell if that came from Gary.
That would have been
or
a pass.
from someone else.
No.
That would have been hilarious.
Just don't answer. Just walk away.
Yeah.
Four of you fade
Clank,
away
clank,
from
clank,
the
clank.
gate.
Right.
I'm
No solicitation.
I'm holding my armor to try to make it less loud.
Okay, so the four of you fade back into the alley you were hiding in before.
Yeah, all right.
The guy on the other side of the door can see the door kind of release as people walk away from it.
Damn Jehovah's Witnesses.
Okay.
Well,
So,
all right.
Flashing back inside.
Okay.
The two of you are led downstairs by the Jarl. The Jarl sits back in her throne and looks at you and says, "I expect an answer tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And remember, everything we spoke of here stays between us. I'm putting a lot of trust into you both."
Just nod, and I assume the door is still open behind us or whatever.
The door is opening at this point.
All right.
Okay.
And you two walk the 100 feet out of the long hall. As you do, you see 4 guards stepping away from the front gate, and one of them turning to one of the other guards and just saying, "I was certain I heard someone out there, didn't you?" The other guy goes, I think you're losing it, Joshua. Are you sure you're feeling all right? And he goes, "Yes, I was certain. I heard a clanking of armor, and then the door. It's
That's a good guard.
Look at Trev.
That's a good guard.
The 4 of them suddenly jump to attention and just dig in and pull the gate open a little bit to let you 2 both pass. The 4 of you see the gate swing open a tiny bit, and as you have a moment of going, "Wait, this might be our chance to run in," you see Cy and Trev just casually walk out of the gate and start walking down the road.
Okay.
Nix, can you please please?
So wait, so they're out now. Like there's no guard.
Yes, they are out. There is no guard following them. The gates were closed behind them.
Okay. So Nix runs up to them
Thank you.
and does a quick like true sight like circle around them like.
Trev, much like Phaedra is radiating a like light celestial kind of radiance to him. Trev basically has the opposite. He has this just grim, like gray glow that covers his entire body.
Great.
With a mild, like pulsing purple light in the back of his hand.
Hooray!
Sai looks like Sai. He's a little green.
I was gonna
But
say he's got to have a little
Sai.
bit of what's his
Yeah.
name's influence.
Yeah,
And you
just a little
see
greener.
my sword for what it is.
Okay.
She can. She
She's
super
already-
can.
She's seen
Wait,
it
what?
before, but
Oh, I think everyone has at this point. Yeah.
nope, it's her. She's the only one I've cast the hex on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yep. So yes, you see something you've seen before, but we won't go into that right now.
Okay. And I say, "You guys are okay?"
Yes.
I don't know about okay, but we're alive. And we've got some information.
What? I think we should put a little distance.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep
That
walking
we
and be like, we are
absolutely
going
should.
to go home.
And you all
walk quickly.
very quickly walk home.
Where's Daffodil?
Daffodil.
I thought
Sai,
she was with you.
Sai,
Do
you did feel this as the doors were swinging open.
Oh no.
No.
You felt a small pop of a being of your creation getting stuck in between the hinges of a door. And its 2 hit points just could not handle that one.
No.
Daffodil.
Oh, really bad. At least it goes
Okay.
back to the Feywild, right? It's not dead.
Yeah, you just go straight back to the Feywild.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, let's be honest, this isn't the first time that's happened to her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry.
She knows her job.
Okay. Are we back at the house now?
Yeah. You guys walk in relative silence all the way back to the house. Both Trev and Nix are basically bouncing on their heels with stuff to tell you you all.
Yeah.
Phaedra just looks depressed.
Yeah.
Vader, you actually look kind of
guys-
sick.
You look like you've seen a ghost.
Mm.
Well, not me specifically.
I may have seen a ghost actually. I'm still not sure.
I'm still wiping at
Yeah.
Marleman's back, like the whole time, just like quietly, like every once in a while, just being like,
So when we get back to my place, I want to do something I'm not sure I've done. I want to give it a once over to see if anybody has some way of spying on us or
detect
listening.
magic
Or,
time.
yeah.
You
I
detect
can do it
magic.
at will.
Yeah. There are no traps or like listening runes or anything like that on the house.
Yeah.
But that's all.
Just trying to
Okay.
find if there's anything local that's being used to capture this capture this magical data, for lack of a better term,
Yeah.
No.
or if it's something larger,
or like-
grander,
Yeah.
Something bigger.
or more
it would appear.
centralized, basically.
Or even
Yeah.
like something that's been installed since I've last been here to like hide, someone can hide or sneak to peep in or listen in.
Nope, just your regular ass house.
Okay.
The rooster from before has snuck back in through the open window and is clucking mildly on the floor.
Okay.
Throw
I
the
look at
rooster.
it and says, "Who wants dinner?" Does it react? Does it react? Does
No.
it react?
The rooster does not react.
Okay. Whatever.
Throw it
I'll
out.
just throw him back out the window and close it.
Yeah,
Yeah, you pick him back up.
if it's not chicken man, no.
Well, no, I knew it wasn't him, but
I know. I'm saying if it isn't chicken man,
it
not
could be someone
dealing with it.
familiar. It could be.
yeah.
That chicken is back.
Oh yeah, where
Yeah.
is chicken man? Is he here?
He is not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have not seen him since you guys split up earlier today.
Son of a bitch. Okay.
True.
Okay.
He's a big boy. He can take care of himself.
Okay. Next.
That's an important thing.
So we're here now. We're good.
Yep.
Okay.
Spy starts to kick up a small fire.
So, very perplexed as to how you guys are okay, but
So,
glad.
well,
It- It's worth noting, you guys thought that Nyx was there for
Yes.
all of it.
Yeah.
So when you left and she was standing outside with everyone else, that was kind of a surprise.
so I'll just be like, yeah. So then my first question is, so when did you leave?
I left pretty much as soon as I got in because I really thought that we would have to all bust in there immediately because of what I was able to see.
Huh.
seriously,
Still very hard to say.
All right.
With
I mean,
hard to tell.
we could go first if you want.
I feel like this is important context for anything that you would want to say about what happened.
Mhm.
fair enough.
So the Jarl is not human. What I was able to see with the spell that Phaedra put on me, I am fairly positive that it was her brother.
Oh,
Phaedra's.
great.
Oh,
So I very much was not expecting you guys to walk out of there alive.
yeah. I can understand your confusion now.
I forget. Has Simon seen my brother?
He has
You
not-
guys have
he is.
talked about him.
Okay,
Yes.
I couldn't remember if you actually had
I
seen.
thought he made a brief appearance during that Feywild fight.
There was a cloaked individual who may or may
Oh yeah,
not
that
have
we
been
just
him.
assumed was him.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Anyway, well, I guess that makes a lot of this other stuff interesting.
I imagine yes.
But I
I
can
assume
relay
that
basically
Daffodil
what
did
we
not
got.
make it to you guys then with the information.
No, honestly, probably for the best at this point.
I know I wasn't. Part of why I left was I wasn't sure if I should tell you guys right away. I wanted to make sure that I could help everyone get inside as quickly as possible. But whatever.
I mean, what I'll say is that I went in there not trusting her. So this really doesn't change that much on that front. But, and then like relay the elaborate plans of like, desiring war against all of these other kingdoms. And apparently the threat in the south is the Githyanki and whatever the fuck else we even learned.
Okay,
It's like,
okay. Now we have. Oh, okay.
We have a lot of things going on.
there are a series of things that we might learn.
It puts some context to some and raises more questions for others.
Okay. I tried to send a message to you guys as soon as Nyx came to tell us, but it got blocked.
Yeah, I had a feeling there's like when I noticed that there were some runes on the outside of the building, I had a feeling that us teleporting out was not going to work. So that's why I was kind of focused on talking our way out.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I don't really know what to do with all of this information.
Well, I have some bad news, which is that we're expected to be back there in the tomorrow, so we can
Well,
give them an answer for whether I'm going to rally my people against or as part of their war that they're trying to start.
Could you
so
rally your people?
I don't think they know that, and I'm pretty sure that's great.
uh,
No,
but
I
if
have
it was if it was this guy, aren't the Drow working with or for
I don't
those
think.
people?
I think that I'm not sure what his plan is, but it makes sense now why the city is being like choked of its resources, like it's being cut off from all these cities. They're
Yeah.
splitting their forces between these two different things. No clue if they're responsible for either of them popping up. Who fucking knows? I'm trying to figure out why. They were taking all the magic users out.
And there
That's
are things
something
that
that we should have asked about that. Yeah.
Mm.
there are things that don't necessarily add up. There's if this person is who we think he is, he would have known more about me than this line of questioning suggested.
Well, he could have just been
Yeah.
putting on a good act.
Possibly, but
I mean,
he would have known that the Drow and I don't necessarily get along.
Well, maybe he
True.
was trying to get you to get out of the city and out of his hair.
That's
Maybe he was
possible.
trying to call your bluff, trying to see if you knew who he was.
Yeah.
Possibly, but
So-
it didn't, so there's that.
are
What
are
is
we
he
all in
working
agreement?
after? Isn't he working with
Bad people.
some other bad people that are working with the Geth Yankees too?
The Githyanki were separate from the group that we've been dealing with. They were just, unfortunately, just another thing to put on the list of
They like
Yeah.
come along
to
at the
deal with.
They're really bad.
Yes,
But-
they are, but they're not, as far as we knew so far, in league with this group. But maybe they are.
No, it wouldn't make sense for him to be fighting against his group at large.
Well, because the Githyanki want to try to get back. Right? Wasn't that the whole
I
thing?
forget what their goal is.
They wanted to get back to this plane.
Yeah, they have been outcasts of the prime material plane, sailing the ethereal sea for millennia now.
So
All they want is to reconquer the prime material plane.
so
Yeah.
they
Yeah, of course.
They
Oh, is
could-
that it?
they could be working together because they're both groups want to try to break into the material plane. It's possible they could be working together, or if they aren't working together, they're both working towards a similar goal, which is why they would
Yeah.
want to get rid of the other.
That I think is more accurate. I don't think they'd be working together. The Githyanki don't really seem like the work with anybody else kind of people from what we've seen of them.
No, but I mean, I wouldn't put it out.
Her makes the idea of if she is in town, their control is much more difficult to establish.
Okay, so they're
It's
A
my
city-
guess that they're not working together.
that would be my guess, but I wouldn't put it complete. I wouldn't.
Yeah, of course. I'll never rule
Okay.
anything out.
So, something important we have to ask. I think we're all in agreement that we're going to enact a regime change at some point.
Mm-hmm.
The important question is, do we do that before or after we deal with the dragon and have a dwarven army at our back?
I believe
Um,
the choice is going to be made for us.
If we go in there tomorrow,
Like,
huh?
deal with this guy.
Well, but if we can continue to play it off like we don't know who he is, if he's willing to play that game,
Yeah.
My personal vote as a person who's very invested in getting rid of that dragon is if we can continue to play him, I want to get rid of that dragon, and then we can come back and take care of this.
Okay.
That's where I'm leaning as well.
It all depends on whether or not we can continue to convince him we don't know who he is now that we know who he is and that we're going along with our original plan.
And I think we can pull that off. Especially if we play hard to the angles that we've already been playing. That being A, mercenary way, and making sure he doesn't think we have ulterior motives. And B,
And
Trav,
maybe the answer can be like we had a job to do when we got here and we need to finish that job, but we're
Right.
also interested in what you're proposing, but we need to take care of our first job first. And then when we
Yes.
come back, actually we can take care of him.
Right.
Yeah, therein
That would
lies
definitely
the
be what
plan.
we.
Yeah.
Yes. Generally, it would appear that that's the best plan we've got.
Yeah.
Is to offer this up as something that we are like not rule out helping him, but make our case clear that we must finish our existing task first. And if he
Yeah.
wants to assist, or she, I guess we should get used to saying,
Yeah.
wants to assist in cleaning that up, then we can focus. If they can focus our extra troops on that effort, get it squared away, then we can reassess and like to them help out with the other issues. But
Where are you saying
whether
this in the
what
army?
we do or not, whatever.
Yeah. Where are you saying to send our troops?
Um,
With Hasper or to
to
the
the
south?
dragon.
Okay, good.
Like, I feel like if we try, maybe even if we can convince them to try and pull some of the troops from the south to unify the effort in the north, that would be even better.
Yeah.
And then, try and like get them to they don't seem interested in enacting valid military strategy, but we can at least try it.
Did you get Ducky out of trouble?
I mean, he's
Yeah.
I forgot about him.
I believe we did.
I believe so. He's with our troop in custody.
Sure.
We should
The
probably
conversation took a turn before any judgment on what they believe Ducky did.
Yeah.
I believe we just offhand got them to say that was us, not him.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
which was what
I
I was
remember
gonna
that.
say.
You guys were able to say it was a misunderstanding. That was
I did say that before.
Yeah,
Trev
before
was
the
like,
rest of it
threw
happened.
his head off.
All right.
Yes,
But
you got very lucky. If you had just said, "Oh no, it was a misunderstanding. That was us," it probably would have gone a very different direction of a conversation because you were able to go, "It was a misunderstanding. It was us." Also, you want to kill Lathander? I'll kill Lathander. Then the conversation was able to move away from that very quickly.
Yeah. And if Trev hadn't brought that up, I'd have been like, "Look, I already told you, I'm a mercenary. I have agents there. What do you want? We can work something out." It would have gotten there.
Okay,
Fair
just the reason we originally went in, just wanted to see,
So,
I don't even know if that was the original reason I went in.
That was not.
It was really just a convenient excuse to get in the building. I don't give a fuck about that too.
Fair enough.
Although, if we're going to enact a regime change, we may need a puppet.
Puppet government.
Exactly what I'm
Let's
thinking.
go.
Well, are we just gonna assume the real Jarls
Are dead. Long
Almost
dead.
certainly.
Presumably.
It's an assumption I'm willing to make. If
All right, they're still
obviously if we find evidence to the contrary, great. But for now, I'm functioning under the assumption that they are long dead.
Yeah.
I'm
Maybe they're locked in a trunk somewhere.
I'm just concerned because while the stuff with the dragon that is important, I am also very uneasy because I got an unclear answer as to what has happened to all the magic users. That is something else I'm a little worried about. It's not a priority. I'm just a little
no offense. I don't fucking care. That's like those are some people, and that's a bummer. But other stuff that is on our plate right now is either entire cities, entire towns, entire villages, a gigantic dragon, or
entire
the
races.
fate of this plane.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like those people are gonna have to take a back seat.
Yeah.
Also,
my worry is that they used to try to get in some sort of ritual.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I care about those people because they are people, but so I care about them. But my hope is that through pursuing these other things, that will come to light and we'll be able to handle it. But at this time, I don't think there are really magic users left here to be persecuted.
True. Oh,
So,
we should let Perrin know that the
yeah.
That'd be wise.
Parliament. We should contact him again.
Wait, should we use the summoning stone again?
Oh right.
Can we
No.
contact him again without making the Jarl?
Look, it's going to take Perrin a couple days to get to where he's going.
Yeah,
We
still
can
have
get outside of this city.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. As soon as
We
we're
can get
outside
outside
the
of the
city,
city,
then we
yeah.
can contact him because I just want to give him a hey, you know where you're heading. The Githyanki might be there.
Which
We
brings
should
up my
probably
next
turn him
question.
around.
Does
Good
this
point.
move up our timetable for going after the dragon?
It sort of does, but it doesn't in that I think we still need to wait for the dragon. Not for the dragon, for the army, the dwarven army, to like deal with the dragon.
You want to wait for the dwarven army to deal with the dragon?
That was the original plan, wasn't it?
No, I didn't
I
think
thought
so.
that was the original plan too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
'cause
leave them and
we-
go south first was the original plan.
We have not
No,
even called
Go
them.
south first. The
Oh.
plan was to find
No.
out what's happening in the south.
Yeah.
They've been marshaled and are beginning their
Okay.
Yeah,
their
we have
journey.
called them. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we
they
called
will
them.
take 2 weeks to get here.
Yes.
Yep. I'm not saying it's a great idea. I'm just saying that's what we were doing.
Like what has changed with that you don't want to wait for them anymore?
If we say to the Jarl that we have to take care of the business in Hasper with the dragon before we go on her errand, then she would expect us to march
we can
immediately.
We
Not
can say that to the Jarl and still wait for the dwarven army without the Jarl knowing, because the plan wasn't to let the Jarl know that we were using the dwarven army. We were
true.
going to meet
His
them
point- I think his
outside.
Well,
point now is that if that's the case and she doesn't know, she's expecting us to ride now.
right. Not
So,
wait around for
again,
2
we
weeks.
kind of can do that. We kind of can ride now, but still wait for the dwarven
Just
army.
go meet with the dwarven army.
You okay?
Do you understand
you-
what I'm saying?
I do.
We take our army too, right?
Because I don't
Yeah,
think
we'd have to. Yeah.
Trev, make an int check
Oh boy,
or a wisdom check.
that I'm better at. Oh hey, 14.
Yeah, it's good enough, I guess. You, through hearing this and hearing the different ideas that are being proposed to you, realize something that will make this entire house of cards fall over.
Great.
If the Jarl gets any word whatsoever that the Dwarven army is mobilizing across the Great Lake, things are going to change very quickly.
That is true. Yeah, that's actually good. That's a thing, huh? So yeah, guys. There is basically no way for a dwarven army to march here without some kind of scouts from this kingdom finding out about it, and the leader of this kingdom wants to go to war with them. So that might be a convenient excuse for them to take all of their forces and go to battle, and that is not what we
That
are
is a
looking
troubling thing,
for.
Yeah.
We are not here to start wars or enable people who want to start them.
Right.
I think
Yeah,
we need to,
you're
if
right.
anything, tell them to go home.
I don't think we should tell them to go home. I think we just have to ensure that this regime has changed before they get here. Because I think if we are going to fight the Githyanki, and I don't see much of an option against that, we're going to need a dwarven army.
Forget the Yankee is like bottom of the list right
Yeah,
now.
that is not. That's like
That's
a
not the
few steps
immediate-
later.
Yeah, that's not the immediate problem, but the way she was talking, she was saying that she wasn't sure that this place was going to be around much longer.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I don't believe anything.
Oh.
I don't think that making strategic decisions based on any of her words is wise at all.
That's
I
fair.
think that we need to disregard everything she is saying and take our actions based on the only things that we can count on from her is violence, prejudice, and hatred. You can set your watch by those, but sound strategy and proper maneuvers, absolutely not.
Fine.
So I think that we can. It is almost a certainty that it's not going to be easy it's not like the dwarves are going to be able to move an army or even start moving an army in secrecy.
Okay.
The second that starts happening, word gets back here.
So
What about the supplies?
I mean,
They'll likely
those are
just be
coming.
discarded.
Mm,
I think we can still get those because those are on their way to the summoning circle.
I was
Well,
gonna say,
yeah,
if those get teleported in, then what? Like, it's not. I can tell you right now, I don't believe that those things are gonna work as like a peace offering. If that's what you're.
no, I was more worried that it would.
The
Suspicious.
the
I
supplies
think
are already being packaged and sent via what's it called? In unmarked boxes with no symbolism on them whatsoever.
Got it. Okay.
To get around this exact problem.
Okay.
Plus,
So-
I think we could put a spin on it if we wanted to.
Yeah,
Like
the way
again,
that
playing the free agent line, being like, we called in some stuff just to get our
Okay.
people.
All right.
I mean, if
better.
you want to go one level farther to see just how much he actually knows about me, you could pretend this came from my people.
I like that.
Okay. Yeah.
I like that.
That is a very dangerous gambit, because if this guy in fact is, or if this isn't in fact who we think it is, he should know that's not possible.
Okay.
I mean, he's going to be suspicious of the supplies and where they came from no matter what. He obviously is already playing a game with us where he's pretending he doesn't know us.
Perhaps
Yeah.
even, well, I mean, even if, maybe I can just say that this is a faction of my people that I have rallied to my own needs.
Contacts you have, kind of thing.
Personally, I think we should just say that we called in some favors and not specify it unless they really ask.
Yeah. We can bury the lead. Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think if he presses, I am for pushing and seeing how he responds or she responds.
Yes. Like,
to
if we
Griffin.
can get this person to reveal who they really are, if that is who they really are, then their forces don't fight for them anymore.
Right.
Like, the
But-
human forces are unlikely to fight for them.
When it comes to actually removing her from power, that's going to be crucial. We're going to have to expose him.
Yeah, I
But
can.
that's not something we have to
I mean, when it comes down to
Yeah.
it, I think we'll be able to expose him. But
Yes.
I'm
We
just
need to be ready at every step of this
Yeah.
for that exposure to happen and for us to need to fight at that time.
I will. Keep,
However, we don't need to force it to happen.
Right.
Yeah. I'll
So-
keep just some magic on me.
Yeah,
Person-
It'll
good.
basically
Yeah,
be my first goal after the. I will say right now, the dragon, out of both respect from Nyx and the fact that it is what we're here to do, and like that is the first priority.
Yes.
But basically, immediately after that, I want to put him in the ground.
I agree.
Like,
Entirely.
That's
And
that's
then-
the whole thing for me. But the dragon is so important right now.
That's what I would. That's what I was initially getting at, and why I asked if we moved our timetable up, because we need to do this at a clip.
So yes, if we're not going to have the dwarven forces come anymore, then we
We're not.
should just leave now, because what are we waiting for then?
Pretty
Okay.
much, yes. Like we
So-
can we can take the meeting that we've been told that we need to take.
Yep.
We can try to see if we can, talk our way into getting some more forces from this kingdom on our side, and then we can go take care of business.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then we can come back and take care of business.
So, again, the question being, do we want the dwarven army to keep coming so that we leave, go deal with it, and then they'll be arriving when we come back, and then we have them to
Well,
ensure peaceful
I
transition
understand what Trev's concern was, though, that he doesn't want.
to start a war. I get
I
that.
don't think
the
their
Jarl
travel
catching
time.
wind. He doesn't think that there's a way to do this without the Jarl catching wind of it.
Yeah, it's not
Oh, I
like
know
they
folks
get
went.
here and then we have to deal with that. It's they are spotted mobilizing at all, and
That's
then
true, yeah,
that is
that's fair.
immediately a problem. So like,
That's
it's
fair.
not like we have a couple of weeks
So
to
I
deal
don't-
with it. It's
That's true.
basically
Now-
right away.
Now that we
Okay.
have that information, I don't want to put our allies in that position. So
No.
I agree that we should probably. I don't know how much you want to let them know. I guess I'll leave that up to other people, but tell them something that they should not come anymore. I don't
They
know.
should not.
Okay, we
The
should tell them
supplies are
not to come.
helpful. They should
Yeah.
not mobilize their forces because it may jeopardize the situation.
Right. Not yet, but we still may need them in the future.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So that message gets sent out, let's just say.
Yeah.
And then as fitfully and as poorly as possible, you all settle in for a long rest, as it is close to midnight in the game world, and we've been at this for a couple hours over here. So you all sleep. You'll have to figure out who's going to go collect those supplies. We'll start with that next time. But good job, guys. You've uncovered some mystery.
Oh boy.
Got a lot of bastards.